this video is going to be very different because I haven't recorded a video like this in a very long time from my memory anyways. But long story short, I finished Crisis Core for the first time, and I kind of wanted to just sit down and just talk about my whole experience, what I liked, what I disliked, what I thought was okay, what I didn't think was okay. Just get like all of this out in one fell swoop of a video. And some people might say, oh, that's just a review, Adam. But I tried writing a review, and to be honest, I think people who can do really well at writing reviews are super talented, because I cannot. I've tried so long to write a review for this game. I wrote 4 different scripts, and I wasn't happy with either of them. I wasn't happy with any of those scripts. I wanted to, you know, keep writing, but I ultimately ended up by pretty much saying, like, hey, I want to do a whole, I guess this is kind of like a podcast, but not really, because it's only talking about Crisis Core. So I gotta want to do that. I just want to talk about everything in Crisis Core and just go through the entire emotions and all that. So this is it. This is literally what we're doing right now. I'll try to cut out the parts that, you know, obviously don't make sense, but for the most part, there's no real script. It's just going to be however long this video is, and we're just going to talk about Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion and just go through the whole thing. But if you guys, you know, want to support this type of format of video, I guess, then just, you know, hit the like button. Again, I've always said this in like a lot of my videos, but it really does boost the algorithm and helps me understand, like, oh, you like this type of video or you don't like this type of video. And I've been doing a lot of like different and more interesting or not more interesting, but just different types of videos on the channel. So if you've seen where the direction of the channel is right now, you know kind of where we are right now. But yeah, that's about it. I think that's all it is for the introductions. So let's just jump right into it, and let's talk about something that happened before Final Fantasy, or before Crisis Core dropped, which is the fact that I made a video called "Do Not Skip Final Fantasy," or "Do Not Skip Crisis Core," and honestly, you guys crushed it. Like I don't know, It's crazy. Like it blows my mind to see like the feedback from that video. It was so awesome. And honestly, I was going to be one of those few people who was going to skip this game. And to my surprise, this game is actually really good. It's actually really well done. And let's just talk about everything. Let's go in order. I was about to go into the whole likes and dislikes thing, but let's just go in order. Let's just talk about all the things I liked about the game. Oh, and just quick disclaimer, this is where I can finally say spoiler alerts. For anybody who hasn't played it, please go check it out. Please do not listen to this video. Go check out the game. Go see what it's about. Learn Zack's story. And then come back to this video, and then we can, you know, kind of talk about it all in the description, in the comments, and whatnot. Because I'll try to answer as many as I can. So, yeah, let's just go right into it. So let's talk about everything that I liked about this game first. And then let's go into the dislikes. So, yeah, that's about it. Let's go. Okay, let's stop stalling. So what did I like about this game? So the things that I liked about this game, there's a lot of things to like about this game. First things first, one, I like Zack as a character. Zack is a really cool guy. He's very different from every other character that we do see within Final Fantasy, in my opinion anyways. He's more goofy, less serious, and, you know, he's more of a jokester, from what I can tell. And I really like that about him, because unlike Cloud and certain other characters, they're more like serious and, you know, they take things very seriously because of the status that they hold. But I like the fact that Zack is like this just like dude who can be serious, but he's also like, you know, like a goofball. And I really like that about Zack. I like that a lot. I like all the character designs within the game. I think Genesis has some of the coolest character design for a character, in my opinion, especially since they're trying to get that like edgelord type of feeling. And, you know, that's what Nomura's really good at doing. But I really like the character designs in this game a lot. I think they look really cool, I guess, and well done. And honestly, I like a lot of the characters in this game. One of the characters that surprised me a lot was Sephiroth. I love his character a lot in this game, a lot more than I like him in the original Final Fantasy VII, because if people kind of remember OG Final Fantasy VII, Sephiroth is just kind of like doing things, and like, you know, it's like he doesn't really care about who Cloud is or whatnot. He's just kind of going at his own pace, doing what he needs to do just to get to the end result. And that's cool, I guess. But like, Sephiroth in this game though, he has character, is what I feel like, because again, in OG 7, Sephiroth is whatever, you know. He's not the character that I see in Crisis Core or in Final Fantasy VII Remake, you know, because he's not like that talkative, or he's not like, I might explain that later in more detail. But I just want to say, like, Sephiroth in this game is awesome because, like, you can tell that he cares about his friends. He cares about the people he works with. He's actually an outgoing dude. It's so cool to see Sephiroth in this game because you can like, Sephiroth feels like a character in this game, and he doesn't seem until you get to the turning point of the game, he doesn't feel like this crazy maniac who's just kind of going around and doing things. He feels like a genuine character within this game, personally, in my opinion, which I really like a lot. I like Angeal. Angeal's a really cool, like, older brother type of character. That's kind of what I got from it with Zack and Angeal. I like their relationship that they have, and I also like the relationship between Angeal, Sephiroth, and Zack as well, because like, these guys are all friends. They're all co-workers. They all are doing military work in a way, and you can kind of tell like these guys are kind of a family, you know, like these three characters, they mesh a lot. And you can tell, like, when Angeal's death happens, like, Sephiroth is kind of sad, and you can kind of see it within Sephiroth, because Sephiroth never really wanted, like, Angeal to die, or, you know, like, certain things to just go out of hand. And I really like that a lot because it shows like a different side to like all these characters. I like how Angeal is kind of like Zack's angel in a way. I personally think that's really cool. I don't know how a lot of people are gonna feel about that, to be honest, but like, Angeal is a really cool character. I think I'm trying to say like different things for cool. I'm really sorry, guys, but like, Angeal is awesome. He's not there for most of the game though. I kind of wish they put more Angeal in the game, but the scenes that we do get with Angeal is some of the best scenes when it comes to Angeal and Zack, you know, because that whole thing is super cool to see. It just kind of sucks the way that they wrote the characters, or the way that they wrote the plot in this game, which I'll get to later, which is why I haven't mentioned this last character. But it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Something I really also love in this game is Aerith. Aerith in this game is like, I love the relationship between Aerith and Zack in this game a lot, because like Aerith is just so lovable, and like you can tell that she has this huge crush on Zack, and like seeing Aerith in this game really like makes me look very differently when you're playing like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like Aerith always loved like Zack, always had a big heart for Zack, and it's kind of the reason why she's like with Cloud, because she remembers the sword that Cloud has, and she, or not Cloud, but she remembers the sword that is Aerith. I'm stumbling here. She remembers the sword that Zack had, and she remembers the good times, and she remembers Soldier. She knows all that stuff because like Zack introduces her to everything, you know, and it's really cool to see like, oh, the reason why like Aerith is selling flowers in the beginning of Midgar, or when you're invading Midgar, is because it was Zack's idea. Like she said, hey, listen, take these flowers and just sell them, and sell them for whatever price you want to. Well, even though they say sell them for whatever price you want to, like Aerith and Zack's relationship, in my opinion, is very bittersweet, because like these two characters are intertwined with each other, and it's just so sad to see how it ends, which is just Aerith has been sending letters for 4 years plus, doesn't know where they're going to, doesn't know what's been happening, but she's been trying to reach Zack for a very long time. And it's just so sad to see the way that it ends, which is just like Aerith gets absolutely like, she loses faith after 4 years. She's just like, yo, I don't know where to send this anymore, and I'm kind of done doing that, you know? And like, as soon as the fight ends with Zack and Genesis at the end of the game, it's like, damn, like it's been that long, and she still held on until that very moment. She was like, but even then, like even when she stops sending letters to Zack after 4 whole years, she's still like, whatever's going on with you, whatever's happening, I hope you're safe, and I hope that you return. And I just like absolutely love that whole thing, you know? It's so awesome to see that relationship and like that dynamic between those two characters. It's beautiful in my opinion. What else did I really like? Oh, something that I really loved that I wish they did a little bit more in the future is I love the Turks in this game a lot. Even though not all of them had the screen time that they're going to have within Final Fantasy VII, the Turks, in my opinion, are really cool characters. I really like Reno. I like a bunch of them. It just sucks because in OG7, the Turks are there for like Midgar and a little bit more after that, but then they don't really do much in the grand scheme of things. They're just kind of there and they take orders from people, but like, in my opinion, I think the Turks are really cool characters, and I'm really hoping that within Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we get to see them do much more than what they've already done. The Turks are really underutilized in my opinion, and I kind of wished that we got to see them do a lot more, which kind of sucks. Granted, I've never played Dirge of Cerberus. I've never seen that game at all, so maybe they do more there, or maybe they do more in 7, because I haven't played OG7 in a very long time. I might have to play that again to brush up on my memory, but from my memories and from what I recall, the Turks don't really do a lot, and it sucks because I think the Turks are some of the coolest characters within this game. I think it's awesome that they are who they are, and like the emotions that they have and everything. It's so cool, and I wish we got to see more insight on these characters, more background story of these characters, and I hope that they kind of fix this within the rebirth/remake of this game. Obviously, things are definitely changing because we know that Zach might still be alive. We're not 100% sure. It's kind of weird because like at the end of the game where he opens the doors to the church, he's like, I'm back, and then like something happens. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Maybe it's just him in his head or something. We don't know. We really do not know. And we're probably never going to figure this out until way later. So who knows what that's all about. But I like the Turks. I do. I wish we got to see them a lot more and more character development within them. What else did I like? Let's talk. I think gameplay is really nice in the game. I liked a lot of the English dub. I'll talk about the negatives when we get to the negatives. I liked seeing the cutscenes once again. And by once again, I mean, you know, the pre-rendered cutscenes that we see, not the very end one, because I've never seen that one, but the cutscene where Sephiroth is fighting Genesis and Angeal. I loved it a lot. I thought that was pretty cool, in my opinion. I don't really know what to say other than it back then, you know, you saw it in a lot of AMVs. If you guys ever know what AMVs or GMVs are, they're like music videos, but like they have pre-rendered cutscenes or like anime cutscenes and whatnot. You would see that fight like everywhere in like almost every video. It was one of the most hyped fights to see, especially when I was a kid, and it was really cool to relive it again as an adult with full context of, oh, this is what's going on in this scene, which is really awesome. And then what else? What else did I like? The gameplay is fine. I think it's fine. I don't think it's like over the top crazy. I think you know, we've advanced a very long way from where we were before, but I think it's fine the way they made the game how it is. They just took everything from the original engine, ported it to the to various consoles, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5. I think Xbox also got it. I'm not 100% sure, but the way they ported it was really cool, and I thought it was really awesome how they did it. What else? Oh, something that's like kind of a nitpick, I guess, would be the fact that like I didn't really like the hallways. This is a really old game, so like, how do I explain this? Most of the levels are just you walk down a hallway. I think there was only a couple levels where it's like you have a little bit of exploration, but like the exploration wasn't like all that crazy, you know. They weren't like what it is like today to today's standards, and it's for good reason, because this is again a PSP/Vita game, so I wouldn't expect it to have that. But it did remind me of like OG like Kingdom Hearts, where like you would walk through these like big places, but like in reality they're just hallways that you're just going through, and that's about it. It's not a huge problem for me, I don't think so, but it's just like my small nitpick, which is like, you know, it does feel kind of like you're walking through hallways, kind of like original like JRPGs where you're just going through like hallways. I would have kind of liked it to see if like they're all connected, but I guess that's just like more research and development time and whatnot. Something that I thought would have been really cool in this game would have been an additional cutscene for the future of Rebirth. I guess they don't want to really tease that right now, because if they did, then it would start the marketing for Rebirth. But again, like, it's crazy to think that we're getting this game now and then we have to wait a whole year before we get to, at least a whole year before we get to see the sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake. And like, the fact that this game is going to be connected to a remake in a way is also kind of weird, because like Zack is going to apparently be playing a much bigger role in Rebirth before the sequel of Remake. And hearing that alone, it's like, okay, well, if he's going to play much a bigger role and you guys had the opportunity to make like a Crisis Core remaster, why didn't you just like add a couple scenes that would have like teased where the story is going? Or why didn't you guys change certain story points so that like as soon as we get to Rebirth, we wouldn't be confused? Because I definitely think that when we get to Rebirth, there's going to be a couple of things that are changed. And I don't know how they're going to really explain like how we go from A to B, you know? Obviously, I don't think that they won't be able to explain it. I think they will be. I think they'll just do pretty fine with it. But at the same time, though, I would have really appreciated it if, like, within this game, they took out scenes or they took out things that aren't going to be there in the next game. So I personally would have appreciated it, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just me nitpicking at this point. It is what it is. You know? So, with that being said, I think I'm starting to get negative, which means we gotta talk about the bad in this game, okay? we gotta talk about it because there's a couple of things that I definitely think are negative, and then there's a couple of nitpicks here and there. So let's just go right into it. Okay. I think it's very clear. I play this game in English dub, so I want to quickly say the first negative thing, which is the fact that I hate Zach's English dub actor. Like the whole time he speaks, anytime he does certain things, I just absolutely am not a fan of the new voice direction of Zach. It could get better within like other games or within Final Fantasy Rebirth. But Zach, the way he was talking in Crisis Core, it was whack. It was, there were certain scenes where I'm like, man, you are reading a piece of paper. You're not even trying. You're not even like giving it your all, you know? Like, it's just so sad because like Zach's OG voice actor is actually really good. And like, to hear this new Zach is just unfortunate because like I feel like he could have done a much better job. I know a lot of people I've talked to have said, oh, when you get near the ending of the game, his voice acting gets a lot better. And honestly, I played the whole game, got to the end, and I said, man, his voice acting did not get better. All y'all lied. All y'all lied to me. And it's so sad because it's like, man, I really thought that like every other voice actor in the game was really good except Zach. I love Sethros, I love Genesis, I loved Angeal, I love them all except Zach. And it's really disappointing because like, Zach, this is his game. This is my boy. This is your time to shine. And as a voice actor, you should have put in just a little bit more work to make it just a little bit better. Just a little bit. I'm not even asking for too much. I'm asking for it just to be a little bit better. That's it. I hope that if we get into the next like game with Zach in it, it needs to be a little bit better because I'm really, really hoping that it gets there. So that's that. My second gripe with this game is Genesis, okay? I'm not a fan of Genesis. It might be a hot take. It might not. I don't know. But Genesis, just like, that's a yikes, brother. So the reason why I'm not a real huge like fan of Genesis is mainly because like anytime this person spoke, and I talked to Kingdom Ace aka Jordan about this, but anytime he spoke, he was speaking in like a play, and I get what he was doing because I had to look it up afterwards, but he was speaking in this loveless Shakespearean garbage play. I don't care. I did not care the whole time about Genesis. His plan while playing the game, made no sense to me. I'll be real. I'm like, bro, what is this writing? What is going on? What is his entire plan? What is his motive? I have none of that. And Genesis, like while every other character, like I could see, it has a genuine friendship for each other, and is doing like all these really cool things, and they're trying to support each other, and they talk, and they're having fun times. Genesis is the one character where I'm like, how are you guys friends with this dude? He's such a weird character. It was mind blowing to me, because it's like, every other character was so awesome. You know, Sephiroth, Zack, Angeal, great characters, all of them. I got to Genesis, I'm like, what is this dude talking about? Number one, what is his plan? Number two, what is his motivation? Number three, I barely know his backstory. Even though I figured all this out later on, it sucks because I had to do a Google search about it, because I'm just like, I do not, anytime he got on screen, I'm literally like, oh, the whole time, bro. And the time when Zack thought he killed Genesis, I was happy. I'm like, good, thank God. I'm not a fan of this character whatsoever. But like, when Genesis got on screen, I rolled my eyes every time, and it just sucked because I really wanted to like Genesis. I came in there with blind expectation, and you know, when he was quoting Loveless, I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, the first time, cool. Second time, it's all right. Third time, okay. This is your whole character, isn't it? Huh? This is all you gonna do. It is what it is, man. Like, I get what his plan is now. I get what but I just don't like him. It's just, I felt like every time he was on screen, he just said the dumbest things. And then his plan to me just made zero sense, which is, oh, if I reenact Loveless, then I can get the power of the god from... Really? It worked, but like, I didn't like it. I personally was just like, man, I'm out of this. It is what it is. It's whatever. What did I not like? Oh, the missions in the game were like, they're kind of like side quests, but they're not really side quests. They're like kind of really important to do. I kind of like them, kind of don't like them actually, because like, on one hand, it gives you really cool materia, but on the other hand, like, if you are way out of your depth, or your materia is not leveled up, or you haven't like done much, that like, dude, I could not get to, I couldn't get past 7 stars because like my materia is so weak, and like leveling it up takes a bit of time, you know. The missions are definitely weird because like it kind of just stops the pacing of the story for you to just do all these side content that you should be doing. It makes you a hell of a lot stronger, but when I'm fighting like 7-star Bahamut, I was weak. So I didn't really finish all the missions. I think I only did about like 35%, which is a bit, not a lot, but it's a bit. But I feel like the missions carry a lot of the playtime in this game, and if you skip them, you're kind of like hindering yourself a lot. And if you do them, you're increasing your playtime by a lot, in my opinion. I think like one of the other few things I don't really like about this game is kind of the plot, in my opinion, because it starts with Genesis, and then I think the plot with Sephiroth is really cool with the whole Genova project and everything. I thought that's really awesome. But like the way that they told and explained the plot, in my opinion, wasn't really the best storytelling in Final Fantasy. It is Final Fantasy, so obviously they're gonna make the plot sound a little bit confusing, because that's just kind of how they've always done Final Fantasy games, in my opinion, at least the ones I've experienced. So don't crucify me, please. But yeah, like the plot is a bit weird, and certain things to me felt very like rushed, in my opinion. Like Angel's death feels a bit rushed, mainly because, again, I was leveling up materia, I was doing a lot of the missions, so like when I went to go fight Angel, I literally like two-shot him and he was dead, and I was like, oh, that's it? That's the whole that's the whole Shabata? Okay, I guess. Overall, I think Final Fantasy, let's start it again. Overall, I think Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion was a really good game. It was really nice and touching and wholesome to see characters getting together and see a different side of characters that we've never seen before. I think the relationship between Zack and Aerith is something really special, and almost made me cry when we see the end of the game and Zack is dying. I think the relationship between Cloud and Zack is also amazing, and it just is something that I truly and personally like was really sad about. And it's really sad to see that in the future Cloud is going to forget like mostly like all of this stuff, mainly because, you know, Zack wasn't really written during the time of Final Fantasy VII, but you know, it's we'll get there when we get there. And like just seeing the way that characters interacted with each other, friendships, the plot was okay, but honestly, all in all, I think Crisis Core was a really good game. I personally enjoyed my time playing this game. I think that it had its high highs and it had its low lows, and honestly, I couldn't ask for a much better game from Square. And I really want to say thank you, Square Enix, for remaking, or I guess remastering, this game. So thank you so much. So experiencing this game for the first time, I gotta say this game was awesome. And if I could give it a ranking, I'd probably give it around a 7.5 out of 10. Genesis dropped by 0.5, so it would have been an 8, but blame Genesis, I guess. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good holidays as we are getting to the holiday season. I will try to be uploading around that time, but I am going on a trip, so fingers crossed that we get no huge Final Fantasy news on the channel. And if you guys got this far, thank you so much for just even clicking the video. It really means a lot to me. And if you could, you know, again, leave a like, it helps the algorithm so much. So thank you guys so much for just sitting down and listening to this. And yeah, I will check you guys later. But for now, I must say goodbye. Adios.